There, this is Mrs. Whitaker with tonight's prep work. We learned about area today. Our new lesson was lesson 2, area of parallelograms and areas of triangles. The first part of our homework, though, was a review from lesson 1, topic 1, and it was distributive property. So I'm going to try to be quick with this because my iPad's about to die. On the first part of the homework, the students were supposed to just basically review what they did last week, which the side of the length is 7. Here you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then the area of the whole thing is 7. And they decomposed it into 4 plus 3. So they're going to break it down and multiply the area of each shape. So the first area they're going to do is this one, the shaded part. That is 7 times 4. And they're going to add it to the other area, which is 7 times 3. And when you work it out, 7 times 4 is 28, and you add that to the 21 from the 7 times 3. And you put it all together, and you should get 49. So there's an example of what they're supposed to do on their homework for the first part, which again I said that's review. On the back part, they just had to match. They had to match this side with this side. That would make sense. So I'm looking for 10 times 8. I notice that this one has 10 times something and this one has 10 times something. But which one decomposed the other factor correctly? And it should be D, because 7 plus 8 gives, or 7, sorry, plus 1 does give you 8. So you are technically doing 10 times 8, which matches number 1. So again, it's just matching. Part C is the same way, but it's kind of working in reverse. You had to find which one that when you worked it out would give you 35 when you distribute it on the right. So I look and I see which one would give me possibly 35. Well, down here on F, 7 times 5 gives me 35, and 7 times 4 gives me 28. So that would be a match for number 1. Going down to part D, it's the same way. We have 8 times 12, and they're decomposing the second factor 12 into 2 plus 10. On the back side, 3, 4, 5, and 6 is exactly like the first two I did on the other side. Now we're having to do the area of various figures. Well, the first area is a parallelogram, which we learned today that you can move this side over here, eliminate this. So now you do have a rectangle, which means you can use that formula A equals length times width or base times height to solve this. The same thing with number 2. Now number 3 and number 4 are a little bit different because they're dealing with triangles. Well, a triangle, we use a different formula. We use A equals 1/2 length times width or base times height, because a triangle is half of a square or rectangle. You have to sometimes decompose it certain ways, but it will technically work out to be half of whatever rectangle or square you're working with. So we plug in our numbers, and I know we have 1/2. The base is 6 and the height is 8. And then you continue to work it out. So then it would be equals 1/2 times 48. Well, I'm trying to make this so you can see it easier. There you go. So 1/2 of 48 would end up being 24 inches squared. Another technique I've taught my students today is that you can also take one of your factors and advance, like for example, if I had 1/2 6 times 8, I can take the biggest one and cut them in half right away, and then I'm done with the half. So I'd have 6 times 4, which then would give me also 24, just like I did when I solved it this way. That's just a little trick to help you solve, and you're working with some smaller numbers that way. So I hope this kind of helps you out tonight with your homework. and I'll see you tomorrow. Remember, do not do side or page number 6, the back side of this. Thank you and have a nice night.